Oh, hello. Hi, sweetheart. Welcome to this fabulous episode of Figuring Yourself Out with the Hummingbird. I grew up with one parent that loved me and one parent that didn't really have the resources. So I had to, it was a matter of survival, figure out who I am, because otherwise somebody else would have decided that for me. And the reason I've decided to share this is because through the years, I'm now in my 30s, I've realized that a lot of people have this circumstance where, for no fault of their own, they felt like they didn't belong, or somebody else has defined them for them. Sometimes overzealous parents, underzealous parents, religion, a certain country. So the first aspect I had to figure out for myself was identity. Who am I? And also, who am I not? So that's number one, identity. And then the second layer I figured out was my thoughts and my feelings and beliefs. These are three separate categories, but all of them, I clumped them into one because they are defined through awareness. So if you are a meditator, then you have probably figured out that you can actually listen to your own thoughts, which is a bit contraindicated because we would think, oh, my own thoughts. I am my thoughts. I am, what I think, or even I am generating my own thoughts. And people who have meditation experience have figured out that actually the brain or the body, the nervous system is thinking our thoughts for us. Brain knows language, and that's what we are listening to. Okay. And the third level is the nervous system and how it reacts to our environment. How are we actually in this world? How are we, period? Understanding the different levels of nervous system, I thought I was a bird. The different levels of nervous system activity and how that shapes our perception and reality and also affects how we think and how we feel about ourselves. So these things are interconnected and I will visualize that for you. I drew an overview. 3 categories: identity, thoughts, and body. Let's have a look at identity. So this is the story of ourself. It is defined by what other people tell us, mostly our parents. For example, you are funny, or you are annoying, or you are always punctual, or you never finish your tasks, right? There's like a pointed finger at us and we internalize these statements. And then there are also self-judgments that we make about ourselves by comparison to other people. For example, I am better than, or I am the cutest. Whatever it may be, it's a self-judgment and it goes straight into the ledger. Furthermore, we have circumstances, how we look, what language we speak, what our family has as a culture, what our abilities are, and not to be underestimated, the idea of gender. And that can be, of course, depending on what country we grow up in, maybe what religion our family has, can be quite severe or not as severe. And then from that, deriving self-judgments or facts about ourselves, like my features are that I'm pretty, that I am not good at learning language, that my family is open-minded, or whatever it might be. Okay, so this is the story of self. And everybody has it. This story of self, unless you don't have, any sense of self, there's some type of identity. And then we have thoughts. So let's look at thoughts. being identified with the autonomous story told by the brain. So this is what I referred to earlier. Where do our thoughts actually occur? They don't occur. Okay? What does that mean? Thoughts don't have a locality. They are something we perceive to be happening, but where do they actually happen? So our brain knows language, and once our brain knows language and is able to distinguish between ourselves and our surrounding, which with children happens usually fairly early. It's this age when, we recognize ourselves in the mirror for the first time. And shortly after that, in our developmental journey, our brain is capable of not only speaking language, but also forming full-fledged sentences. And these sentences happen on their own. So if you don't believe that, I would like to invite you to start meditation and perceive your own thinking, which will show you that you are not your own thoughts. So now the brain is chattering, chitter-chatter, For example, I should have done the laundry yesterday. Now I don't have socks, okay? Can trigger feelings about self. Can be comfortable. Ooh, yes, I did my laundry. I have socks today. Awesome. Or it can be really uncomfortable and cause anxiety. For example, I should have. Now I am scheduled for a hike and I don't have socks. This is, of course, a very mundane example, but you get the drift. Also be a bit more grave. For example, I never pay my bills. That would be pretty bad. And then the feeling is uncomfortable and is a self-judgment and creates negative thoughts, negative feelings are a spiral. And then it goes back and forth between the feelings and the thoughts. I always, that's good. Hopefully you always take your keys with you. Okay, what else do we have? The body. So of course these are a little bit artificial segments because, we are alive. So we are alive by the virtue of the hardware of the body, and the thoughts only occur because we're alive, and the identity is also tied to the body. But as far as understanding these perceptions goes, and as conceptualizing this goes, I have separated them. Okay, so body, nervous system arousal, okay? What does that mean? For example, we feel safe, okay? We feel good. We feel good about ourselves. And sometimes things happen that are, very arousing, slightly arousing, and we feel that we must watch out, that we are in danger. And usually the baseline is that it goes back and forth. We're fairly safe, and every now and then we are asking ourselves, ooh, should I take the red light or not? Or what about this weird stranger? Or is this dog safe? I don't know, whatever it might be. So it's kind of like usually between those. But if you are really in danger and your nervous system perceives you to be in danger, let's put it like that, you can very likely come into fight or flight. And then if these two don't help you, and it's a genuine life threat, usually the body shuts down and is in freeze. And for people who have a long-standing experience of trauma between these two, that is something very important to understand, and how to actually, get the body back to baseline and to safety and to well-being. And what is it that perceives this? So that is also something that is created by the brain. The brain creates a sense of self or a sense of identity by the narration of our environment. So it's a sense of I that is created through perception, through eyes, through temperature, through all sensory systems, and also our sense making and discernment. And from that, I, which I have put, it's a story also, in a way. It's this story that was created since we were children, but it is a non-verbal sense of self. And this I, this entity, perceives these different circumstances. Now, why is this so important for me to clarify these different elements? Because well-being comes with a sense of clarity. If we feel good in our body, we feel clear, we are not worried, we're in this state of mind, or in this state of body, I would say. But let's say we're here and we're not quite clear if we are in danger or where we are going in our life. We feel a little bit stressed or even very stressed. This type of sense making or clarity creation can also be a source of well-being. So it's a back channel. Well-being can create a sense of clarity, but also a sense of clarity can create the well-being. All right. If you have any questions about this, please drop me a message. Okay. So let's say we're really stressed, okay? We are in fight or flight mode or even in freeze mode, and our body feels really, really bad. That will also alter our perception of environment. Let's say we have a job that is exhausting, okay? It will alter our perception of self. Why? Because this I is underlying for all of the perception. So let's say we're tired, the world looks a little bit worse than it usually is. Or we are angry, that is reflected in our perception. All of a sudden, all the people that we meet look pretty angry. And that is one of the ways the sense making is automated by the state of our body. Which then, through meditation, through calming yourself down from here to here, and also through journaling or other methods that calm you down, can be altered. It's really hard to change your feeling without changing body, thought, or identity. Okay, so this is a little bit simplified if you want to understand how this is, I would say, long term. I would like to invite you to look at personality and temperament. What do I mean by that? There are certain theories that help you through self-tests kind of classify and create a model of yourself that usually applies mostly, but it's also just a really interesting reflection of yourself. So all of this is essentially a mirror that allows you to, you can zoom in on my hand, that allows you to reflect on who you are as far as your personality goes, your temperament goes. Are you a little white flower? Are you a little cloud that's usually raining? Are you a volcano? Where are you at? So these two I can highly recommend, and they will allow you to create a model of self-perception. And then if you feel so inclined, of course, you can visualize this for yourself the way I do. It's actually something I do for my clients, to create mental models of their personality and their temperament. And let's say this, you've worked yourself through all of these different aspects. Maybe you've gone to therapy or coaching, or you're somebody who's been, walking in the woods for decades. It's a great way to meet yourself, by the way, if you're not so inclined to read a lot. But yeah, if you have all of these three elements sorted, you usually have a pretty firm and clear grip on reality and your sense of self, or who you are. As you can see, all of these three elements are part of a mental model, which means that they're already in a way artificial. Underneath the mental models of ourselves, underneath our bodily perception of ourselves, or even the thoughts created for us by our brain, is a sense of pure being and aliveness, which is why I will combine this video with a meditation. So once you have kind of worked yourself through these different elements, you can also jump straight to beingness and existence, which is the underlying level, if you will, where no words are needed, no images are needed. You can navigate reality through words and images, which are essentially symbols for what we perceive, but you don't have to. You can also just be alive. I hope you enjoyed this video about who you are in the sense of who you believe yourself to be. And hopefully I was able to create some paths for you to explore this. And the next video I'm going to make will be a meditation about coming into being. Bye.